Chapter 23. Echoes of Forgotten Voices. The journey to the ancient library was steeped in silence, each of them lost in their thoughts, the weight of recent trials and unknown dangers pressing down like a thick fog. Azural, Talvar, and Soraya moved cautiously through the forest, winding their way toward the ruins of an ancient city said to hold forgotten knowledge, a place of secrets, where whispers from the past lingered in shadows. As they reached the city's remains, the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting an eerie amber glow over crumbling stone walls and fallen columns. In the fading light, Azural could make out the outlines of statues, broken and half-buried, their faces etched with defiance, even in their ruin. A faint pulsing energy hung in the air, as though this place still held fragments of a once powerful magic. She could feel its resonance deep within her, stirring a memory she couldn't quite grasp. They made their way down a worn stone staircase that led to the library, hidden beneath the ruins. At the bottom stood a massive door, its surface etched with symbols that glowed faintly, casting an otherworldly light in the dimness. Soraya stepped forward, her fingers tracing the runes with an intensity Azural rarely saw in her. "These markings are ancient wards," Soraya murmured, her voice filled with a reverence that belied her usual cool demeanor. "They're designed to protect what lies within. But if I can undo them—" She whispered an incantation, her voice soft and rhythmic. The runes pulsed like the heartbeat of the library itself, and with a final word, the seals released, a wave of energy washing over them. The heavy doors creaked open, revealing the vast, shadowed chamber beyond. The air inside was thick, laden with the scent of dust and aged parchment, as though the weight of centuries lingered in every corner. Towering shelves lined the room, filled with tomes and scrolls that seemed untouched by time. Azural's blue flames cast long shadows across the marble floor, and each step echoed in the stillness, broken only by the faint crackle of fire and the soft rustling of ancient pages. They each drifted to different corners of the room, drawn by an invisible pull. Talvar moved through the shelves, his fingers brushing over the spines of ancient books, while Azural picked up a scroll, its edges frayed, the ink faded yet somehow vibrant, as if the words themselves carried a power that defied age. Soraya approached a pedestal at the far end of the room, where an ornate book rested, its cover emblazoned with a dragon encircled by flames. "This is it," Soraya whispered, her voice filled with both awe and urgency. "A record of the Draconis Ignis Aeterni, of you, Azural." She looked up, her gaze steady as she met Azural's eyes. "It speaks of balance, of a rift, a war of light and shadow that could either heal or destroy the world." Azural felt a chill sweep over her, the weight of the prophecy settling heavily on her shoulders. "Then this battle, it's more than just vengeance," she murmured. "It's about restoring balance, about bringing back something that was lost." As her words echoed through the chamber, a tremor shook the ground beneath them, and dust cascaded from the shelves. The entire room seemed to react, as if her realization had awakened a long-dormant force. Near the entrance, two towering statues began to stir, their stone eyes flickering to life with a cold, unnatural glow. With a deep, grinding sound, they took deliberate steps forward, ancient energy crackling through their forms. Talvar's hand went to his sword, his stance tense. "What are these things?" he muttered, his voice tight with unease. "They are guardians," Soraya replied, her tone grave. "Spirits bound to protect this place, testing those who seek its secrets." The statue's unyielding gaze locked onto Azural, their cold eyes issuing a silent challenge. She felt her fire flicker within her, a spark of defiance rising as she faced them. "I won't let stone stand in my way," she declared, her voice steady and fierce. She raised her hand, blue flames igniting and casting a vivid light across the room as she stepped forward. One of the statues raised a massive stone sword, its weight palpable as it swung down with a heavy arc. Azural was ready, her flames flaring to form a barrier, meeting the sword's edge with a force that sent a shockwave through the room. She gritted her teeth, her arms trembling as she forced the fire to hold steady against the statue's relentless strength. Talvar took a step forward, his sword drawn, but Soraya placed a hand on his arm, her expression resolute. "This is her trial," she murmured. "If we interfere, more guardians will rise." Reluctantly, Talvar held his position, his gaze fixed on Azural as she faced the ancient sentinels alone. The guardians pressed forward, their stone forms grinding against the marble as they advanced. Azural's fire crackled, its heat fierce, but she could feel the strain beginning to pull at her, each second of resistance sapping her strength. Her muscles trembled, her heartbeat loud in her ears, but beneath the weariness, a fierce resolve burned. This was her fire, her power, and she would not let these ancient remnants deem her unworthy. With a surge of determination, she took a step forward, her flames burning brighter, hotter, until they surrounded her in a blazing storm. She could feel the fire flowing through her veins, wild yet under her command, a force that answered her will alone. The first guardian faltered, its grip loosening under the intensity of her flames. Seizing the moment, Azural unleashed a powerful blast of blue fire, engulfing the stone figure. The guardian let out a deep, echoing groan before crumbling into a heap of smouldering rubble. The second guardian hesitated, its form wavering, as if questioning its own purpose. Azural's gaze was unyielding, her flames dancing around her as she took another step forward. The guardian's eyes dimmed, and with a final deliberate nod, it lowered its weapon, acknowledging her victory before retreating into stillness. As silence fell over the room, Talvar and Soraya approached, their expressions a mix of awe and pride. Talvar placed a hand on her shoulder, his voice steady. "You've proven yourself, Azural, and we're with you, whatever comes next." Soraya's eyes held a quiet admiration, her voice soft, yet resolute. "The prophecy is yours to fulfill, but you won't face it alone. Together we will meet whatever shadows lie ahead." Azural took a deep, steadying breath, feeling the strength of their unity settle within her. They had come seeking answers, and while they had found fragments of a forgotten prophecy, the path ahead was still shrouded in mystery. Yet with her friends beside her, the fire within her burned clearer, stronger. As they left the library, she felt the weight of destiny pressing closer, an intricate weave of flame and shadow awaiting her claim. Whatever trials awaited, she knew they would face them as one. Fire, sword, and spell, bound together against the darkness. And with each step, the prophecy grew nearer, a promise etched in forgotten voices, waiting to be fulfilled.